and welcome back to another episode of the Credit Authority. And I am so glad that you tuned in today. This weekend is a special weekend. It is New Year's Eve, and there is no finer guest than I can think of than to have my girlfriend, Dana Flanagan, join us for today's episode. Dana has been on the show before. She is a serial entrepreneur, go-getter, and I just love her energy. And together in 2024, I'm hoping Dana and I have a lot more work and a lot more things that the two of us could be doing together. So I would love to introduce everybody to Dana Flanagan. How are you?
I'm great, Rhonda. Thank you so much for having me. It's so great to be on here again, and Happy New Year to you.
Yeah,
And appreciate
so
that introduction.
no, of course, well deserved, well deserved. So, we've had you on the show before, probably in the summertime. And, we're going to do the entire show talking all about you today. Normally, we'll bring somebody on and it's 10 minutes of this or 10 minutes of that. But you have a great backstory. So let's just start with who is Dana Flanagan? Like if somebody says to you, "Hey, Dana, my name is," like, how are you
Mhm.
describing who you are to somebody? Because you have so many businesses and you're just a go-getter.
Yeah, well, thank you for that, and I appreciate it. And yeah, so my major background for in my most of my adult life has been in real estate. I've been a real estate agent in multiple states, primarily Connecticut and Florida, for many years. I've done everything from flipping homes to owning my own vacation rentals, and obviously helping people achieve their real estate dreams. There's a few other things that I do as well, and I work in private equity and venture capital as well now. And I've also done everything from opened hotels and resorts and TV and media as well. So I have a pretty vast background. It all has to do with business development, I guess, would be the number one key factor in all of those different avenues that I've gone down.
I know most recently as well, one of the things that we've discussed in the past is you've also created a high profile, high ticket I don't want to call it a networking event, but a high ticket, mastermind group that meets, once every other week, I believe as well. So
Mhm.
let's start with that. So we know that you have this amazing background, and we're going to jump into a little bit more specifically about each one. But let's kind of tiptoe into this entrepreneur space. So you've mentioned several things: the real estate, the business, the funding, even doing media. Do you
Mhm.
ever have that opportunity where somebody says to you, "Dana, you sound like you're all over the place," right? I people say
Mhm.
that to me all the time. So when somebody says to you, "It sounds like you're all over the place," how do you respond to that? Because your response is probably similar to mine, which is,
Mhm.
"I'm an entrepreneur. That's the way my brain works."
Mhm. Right. And it's true. And so I think the key is to not overwhelm people with all of the things that you do when you do a lot of different things. I try to get to know the person that I'm talking to first, and then I follow with something that parallels with and may have synergies with what they're doing. So, if they have no interest in TV media promotion or anything like that, I'm not going to really hit on that very much. I'm going to talk to them about what may interest them and how we might be able to bring value to each other. So I really try to uncover what they do and what their needs are before I sort of spill what I do all over. I like to get to know people first, and then I follow with what I do after. That's usually the best approach I find.
Now, again, I know that you travel all over the United States. You and I have, been two ships in the
Mhm.
night crossing just even recently in Utah. When you're
Mhm.
going out to meet people and you're specifically in that frame of mind, business, 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 who can I meet? How do you filter the relationships when you have a limited amount of time? So, for example, if you're out at an event and there's 50 people or 100 people, how do you maximize your time when you're at an event so that you could meet as many people as you can?
That's a great question. And I get that asked that a lot. There's a certain finesse that comes with networking and really doing it properly and effectively. You can go there to socialize, which is great. That's fine. If you go there with a purpose, which is to make contacts with other people and see what synergies you have, and maybe there's a collaboration down the road. Maybe there's a way that you can bring value to each other. That's really the best approach I find, is meet as many people as you can, have a short but effective conversation with them, exchange information. And I can't stress this enough, how important the follow-up is. Follow up, follow up, follow up, like the next day. Thank you for your time last night. It was great meeting you at such and such event. I'd love to get to know a little bit more about your business. Do you have some time this week for a call? Very simple. I find that there are people that say they're great networkers, or they want to go to all these events, or they do go to a lot of events. They go there with business cards in hand or flyers in hand, ready to basically,
So they're
spill out everything that
yeah.
they do all over these people. And it's a turnoff. When someone goes there and they're looking for a sale right away, or they're looking for, what can you do for me? It's very obvious, and it's a major turnoff for people like myself that are there to make relationships. Everything in business is relationships. So you build that foundation with that relationship first, and you get to know the people without asking them for anything. Sometimes I don't even know how we may work together in the future. It's, getting to know them. There might be some synergies that are outside of business. Maybe, when I went to that event in Utah where we passed in the airport, literally, some of those people ski, and they go to my favorite ski areas, and we know some of the same people. And so when you build that camaraderie with people, people are much more likely to work with people they know, like, and trust, and they don't want to feel like they're being sold. I think that is the number one thing to keep in mind when networking. If you go there looking for a job, a sale, you're doing it wrong. That's the way I kind of feel about it.
And it's funny that you just hit on something. And I could remember several years ago, I was at a networking event. And one of the things that they said was, we don't want anybody here to talk about what they do. We want everybody to talk about what makes you you. What are your hobbies? Tell us about your
Mhm.
family. Tell us about your favorite vacation. Something that would be a connector point. Because oftentimes, if I walk into a room and I know that maybe a banker is a great connection for me, if I'm only scouring the room for bankers or other COIs, I could miss out on other opportunities where those people may have been great facilitators. So
Mhm.
instead of going directly to the source, it allows you to make, again, back to what you're saying, relationships where people trust you and you can connect on a different level. So
Mhm.
I
Mhm.
love, 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 that you said that. Now tell us
Mhm.
a little bit about Elevate.
Mhm. So I have a global networking business called Elevate Global Networking. It's primarily on Zoom. It's usually every other week. And it's more catered to people that have global businesses that want to meet other entrepreneurs around the world or around the country. And they don't have time to go to all these events, or they don't have time to, they have maybe kids and restraints after work for these in-person events. And so it's a way to quickly and effectively meet others over Zoom. And we break out into breakout rooms. So you get on, and we usually have a speaker for the first 20 minutes or so on a different topic. And anybody can be a speaker if they would like to talk about something that they're knowledgeable in. And then we break out into breakout rooms, which I really like, because you have a small, intimate room on Zoom with maybe 4 or 5 people in it. And you go around and introduce yourself. And that's where you really get to know people. I sometimes hop in the different rooms, and I see people that are talking about colleges that they went to, or people that they know in a certain town. And it's nice to see, because again, you start to see people as human beings and not a sale, or what can this person do for me. So that's what I love about it. It's it's great because it's connecting people worldwide, and it's not like a local type of networking event. So it's a little bit more effective when you're trying to grow your business globally and connect with people across the world, and get your product out there, or your business out there, or gain relationships that may help you guys both grow. So.
Funny true story, which I think you are aware of. I went on one of your calls for Elevate. And
Mhm.
on that call that day was a gentleman by the name of David Bray. And
Mhm.
months later, I am doing a veteran event. Now, obviously, I reside, in New York. You're
Mhm.
in Connecticut and or Florida. Dave is also, not local to my region. And I am doing a veteran event in Florida. And would you not know he's one of our performers? So you just never know when you're jumping into
Mhm.
these little circles who
Mhm.
you may have the opportunity of meeting or seeing or connecting with. So it was just
Mhm.
very surreal that, again, you have different circles throughout the United States, but there's really an intense amount of overlap, I think, when you get to a certain, part in your career and or
Mhm.
your business is about growing outside of your region.
Mhm.
We'll say it like that. So tell us a little bit about how somebody can get involved with Elevate or become a candidate to enroll in Elevate.
Sure, sure. Well, our website is the best place to go for that, which is elevateglobalnetworking.com. And you can check out past speakers. There are some clips there from some of the guests that we've had. You can sign up to become a member. Your first visit is always complimentary. And it's for me, it's the membership is very inexpensive. It's $99 a month. And I also personally connect you. So it's not like you're just on the Zoom and that's it. I personally connect you with people that I think would be a good fit for you or your business, or somebody that I just think you should get to know. And I think one of the most important part in networking is you go there to meet people, to find out about them and ask them what they do and ask a lot of questions. I ask a lot of questions. And that is the most authentic, effective way to gain insight and have your brain going of how can I help this person? If you go there and you spill all over what you do and get out as much as you possibly can about what you do, you are going to turn people off big time. And that is not going to get you anywhere. So being authentic is very, very key in growing your business and, building these relationships worldwide.
I love it. So with that in mind, we are going to take a quick pause for a quick commercial break. Stay tuned. We are speaking with Dana Flanagan. Don't touch that dial.